Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me for Technology Tip Thursday. If you haven't already, please follow my social media platforms. In today's episode, we're going to talk about wireframing 101 and how wireframing can get you from a prototype to an actual dashboard in half the time. It's called half the time, but why wireframing is important, and we'll do a high-level summary of what that is. And then in this series, I'll actually show you different tools to where you can actually start doing your own wireframes and get from ideation to actual product much faster when your dashboard design. So let's go ahead and hop into wireframing 101. So as we hop into this, we see there is a really great blog from Jay Hanna that really goes over what exactly is wireframing. It's a really great guide. I'll have the link in my video. But the concept of wireframing can be used across different industries, different technologies. So if you're a software developer, you can use wireframing. If you're a dashboarder, like we're doing in this video, you can use wireframing. Any type of visual UX UI design typically uses wireframing best practices. The concept of wireframing is this. It's a blueprint for basically what you're trying to build out. So with wireframing, why this is important is it's much faster for you to develop a blueprint, a guide, just different assets from a high level thought process of what this could look like than it is to actually start developing, going into Power BI, going into Tableau, and just start creating stuff out and then giving it to them. The speed from a visual standpoint from your stakeholders is much faster with a wireframe than it is if you actually were to start developing. So wireframing typically takes practice earlier in the process. You want to kind of get a wireframe out there. And then, like I said, this is a great article you can run through. I think one big call out that I want to look at is the different types of wireframes. This one is really great because there are 3 different concepts. There's a low fidelity wireframe. So think of it as more of a notepad. You're scribbling, you're putting some information down. You might not have as much color, but it's kind of like, hey, really just basic visual representation of what it is that you're trying to build out. Then you have the concept of mid-fidelity wireframes. So this one gives you a little bit more in depth, kind of like your layout, your if you have navigation buttons, if there's, description, so on and so forth. You have mid fidelity, not as much color in here, but then you have high fidelity wireframes, which you can use different tools to get high fidelity in. This is where you start adding different color, different font, different sizes, actual legit information. So if there's a logo or different type of color scheme, what have you, that turns into a high fidelity wireframe. So each have their point in the process when you're trying to connect with the stakeholder or your final product. But wireframing, one thing that I really learned, especially working at Lovalytics, is a really good wireframe can save you so much time. If you have a really bad wireframe or if you don't wireframe at all, there's so much time that you're losing because you're focused so much on the development or on the data side or the back end or the models, so on and so forth. But when the end result is for your stakeholders to actually have a report, then you're kind of losing out. So a really good wireframe really just helps everybody involved to understand what it is our end goal is. And an example of what a wireframe really looks like, and actually there's some great resources out here. You can always go out here and Google as well and just type in, what is a wireframe and why is it essential? There's a lot of information out here. A lot of different people use different techniques. Again, this is a great blog I have on my channel. And then there's a lot of templates out here. So in this series, I'll actually walk through different tools that you can use. Figma, Canva, and then I even found some AI generated ones that allow you to type in what it is that you're trying to do and will create a wireframe for you. So be on the lookout for that for the rest of this series on wireframing of different tools that we can use. So just to give you an example of what a completed wireframe would look like. So this is a completed wireframe. And basically this is a mock-up, right? There's no real data, no real information, but it gives a visual representation of a high fidelity dashboard of what a customer could look at. So we can present this to a stakeholder and say, hey, is this in line with the KPIs that you call out that you want? Is the production cost? Is the information that you want to see over time? Does this donut chart work here? It's much easier to put this type of information on a slide or 3 and then present that and then have sign off from your stakeholder than if you actually go in and just go into your data and start building stuff out. You're losing a lot of time. So I think wireframes really have a high value when it comes to just your final dashboards of what it is that you're trying to create. So this is an example of a wireframe, and the next part of the series, I will show you how to do this in Canva, how to create a wireframe. And then the next one, we'll find another tool and we'll go from there. But this is wireframing 101. If you have any questions about wireframes or any other additional resources that you're using, please let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you all next week. You all have a great day.